The timeout call that has been the talk of the town here this morning, was it that big of a deal in your estimation?
I really think it was, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I think Rich Bisaccia almost answering the question before the reporter's done, saying like, yeah, we were very much so going to do something, and then they called timeout. The timeout was poor. But the inability to stop the run was even poorer by that defense.
Yeah.
You know, if you call that timeout and you stop the run, I don't think we're having this conversation. But the fact that you call the timeout, and then not only that, but what that allows is the Raiders to go to the sideline, see what you're doing defensively. Are you changing personnel? And then that maybe changes the way that they are calling that run play. I think they were going to call a run play no matter what, but calling a specific run play versus the personnel at the front that you might be giving them. But the inability to stop the run is the biggest thing. But once Rich Bisaccia says, once we popped that long run, it changed everything, that makes me think that they were going to be okay with calling a run, and we'll see what happens.
Well, here's the problem. Nobody wants to say it because we all believe that Brandon Staley is a great young mind and will end up being a very good head coach in this NFL. But he's the reason that the Los Angeles Chargers aren't in the playoffs. And let's just be frank about it. And it's not just about the timeout, right? It's also going for it backed up in your own end when you have 4th and 1. All 4th and 1s are not created the same. Just because you believe that you can get 1 yard at any time doesn't mean that you should always try. It is okay to end every possession in a kick. That is a good thing. And for some reason, Brandon Staley doesn't believe that. You can go back to the Kansas City Chiefs game. We had some of the same head-scratching decisions in that game. Also, go to the Houston Texans. Your job as the head coach is to have your team ready to play. You're playing one of the worst teams in football, and you give up 41 points, and you're a defensive specialist or a defensive mind. You can go as far back to the Baltimore Ravens. I understand who Brandon Staley wants to be. I understand that he wants the perception of being aggressive. Being aggressive doesn't have to be aligned with being stupid. And that's what that was last night.
Mina, I want you to weigh in on this decision to call that timeout circumstantially last night. What did you think?
Yeah, I think Dan makes a good point about the Raiders having the opportunity to change their play. I do think they were going to try to run and actually win the game. Language is being parsed a little bit. But I disagree with what Ryan, what you just said about Brandon Staley and the aggression. It's also why they've won some games this season. I didn't agree with, by the way, the 4th down decision in their own territory. But the Bucs did it a few weeks ago. It worked in the same area. We just didn't talk about it because it worked. Again, I didn't agree with it. I thought it was too aggressive at that point in the game. I also don't think it's why they lost the game, giving up 3 there, which is what happened. They lost because of their horrible run defense. It's been why they've lost games all season. I mean, when we're talking about a run defense, forget about the timeout. Forget about the go for it. They gave up 23 yards to Jalen Richard on 3rd and 23. If you want to pinpoint a play in which it became very clear to me that this Chargers defense was not ready for the postseason, that was it. And that does fall on Brandon Staley. You're right. He is the defensive coordinator. He was supposed to come in and fix it. I think they've got a lot of work to do on the personnel side of that ball going forward. But that is the biggest issue with the Chargers this season.
Okay.
It's okay.
You get to read your notes?
Bruh. Because, see, this is the battle that I fight. Like, the timeout, I'm not focused on the timeout. I'm focused on being a defensive player. One, coach, don't give it back to him on the 18-yard line. That's just a defensive guy. Coach, let's punt. Please let us go out and see if we can change the possession.
Let us turn our check.
Please. I get it. I understand it. I didn't understand. I'm not even gonna act like I understood why you go for it there. But more than that, after the timeout, Mina just said it. You just said it. Dan just said it. The run defense. And you play vanilla coming out of a timeout? A run blitz is the perfect call for that situation.
You're selling out at that point.
Dude, I couldn't even get the words out. When you call timeout, a coach's job, once he called timeout, is to try to gain an advantage. That's why you call timeout. And you go out and play.
It was a season-long problem for them on the ground. They allowed the most rushing yards per game as a franchise.
I'm putting 11 up at the box.
1987 season. Unbelievable.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.